Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to look at the quadratic function part 2. Previously I made a video where I showed how to apply the completing the square to transform the standard form of the equation of the quadratic function to the vertex form, where we have a open bracket x plus b over 2a squared plus 4ac minus b squared over 4a. So this is the vertex form and that's the standard form. So I made a video and I've pinned that video at the top right hand corner here. So please make sure you watch that video. But before we proceed, I would like to make a correction to the fact that in that video there was a little error on this b. This b is supposed to be b squared, okay? So please take note of that. And then of course, from here we realize that for the vertex, okay, the coordinates of the vertex will be minus b over 2a and then 4ac minus b squared over 4a. This will be the vertex, where here being the axis of symmetry, and then the other one, this one being the minimum value, or it could also represent the maximum value, depending on whether a is less than or greater than 0. So if a is, for example, if a is less than 0, the curve is going to have a maximum value. But if it is greater than 0, like in this case here, it's going to be a minimum value. You can see here we have two questions. So the first question, we see the question of x squared is having a value less than 0. In that case, the value of our y, the value of this function, this function is going to have a maximum value. While in the case of the second, the function here, since a is greater than 0, so the value of this function, the value of this function is going to be maximum. Okay, so let's look at how we go about completing the square method to arrive at our results. So I'm going to start with the first question, and the first question is let me solve from this end. Okay, so we have the first question, which is we have y equal to minus 2x squared plus 8x plus 7. So what I'm going to do is to first isolate the terms involving x. Okay, we isolate the terms involving x from the constant. Therefore we have minus 2x plus 8x plus 7. And then we move over to this end. From here, move over to this end. So the next thing is to look at this term in brackets, minus 2x squared plus 8x. Minus 2 is the common factor, so I'm bringing out that common factor, minus 2. So I'll bring out minus 2. So I have minus 2 open brackets, and so I'm going to have x squared here, and then of course I will have minus 4, then of course I have my plus 7. So next is to look at the term in brackets. To look at the term in brackets, this is 4x, okay? So we have the coefficient of x. We look at the coefficient of x. Coefficient of x is minus 4. Now let's divide that minus 4 by 2. Once you divide it by 2, that's half of the coefficient of x. The answer is minus 2. The next thing is to take the square of it. I just simply take the square of it. So that means the quotient of x divided by 2 and then take the square of it. So once I do that, what's next is that I'm going to introduce this into this bracket. How do I introduce it? By adding and subtracting the squared term, okay, into the bracket. So I have y equal to minus 2, open bracket. So I'm going to use a square bracket, okay? Open bracket, x squared minus 4x. Then I introduce this plus minus 2 squared, then minus 2 squared, close the bracket, and then of course I have my plus 7. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I will further group these three terms as one and then separate from this other one. So what I do now is to expand the bracket this time. I'm going to expand the bracket using this minus 2. So I still maintain my square bracket. I have minus 2 times x squared minus 4x, okay, plus minus 2 squared, okay, then okay, so I will close this, and then of course I'm still going to use it to multiply. Minus times minus is plus 2 times minus 2 squared plus 7. Alright, so I am going to come over here. So I have, from that end, I come over here to y equal to. So what I need to do now is to compress this part. You know, this is an expanded form already. So I'm going to compress it to give us minus 2, open bracket, x. Then I will take, I'm going to ignore this middle term. I will take an x from this x squared and then take a minus 2 from the minus 2 squared, okay? So I've taken an x from here, then of course I'm taking a minus 2 here, minus 2 all squared. Then of course I have my plus 2, minus 2 squared is 4 times 4, times 2 rather, that's 8. 8 plus 7, okay? So from here I have y equal to minus 2, open bracket, x minus 2 all squared plus 15. So this is now in the vertex form. Okay? So from here, I can find the axis of symmetry. I can go ahead and find the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry will be obtained by equating minus 2, open bracket, x minus 2 all squared equal to 0. Okay? So I'm going to divide both sides by minus 2. That will give me x minus 2 squared equal to 0. And then taking the square root of both sides, so square roots and square will go. I have x minus 2 equal to 0. So x gives me 2. So that will be the value of the axis of symmetry, x equal 2. X equal 2. So from here, let's find the maximum or minimum value. So since we have said in the case that since a is less than 0, so the y will be a maximum, okay? And that maximum value is what we have here, 15. Okay, so the vertex of the function will be at 2 and 15, where 2 is the axis of symmetry and then 15 is the maximum value. Okay, thank you. I hope we all got that. Now let's look at the next question. B. The next question we have is 4x 4x squared plus 5x minus 6. Okay, so what we need to do is to say y equal to, as usual, isolate 4x squared plus 5x from minus 6. Okay, so once that is done, then we will factorize, we bring out the coefficient of x squared. So y will be 4 brackets x squared plus 5 over 4x. Now the reason is because since our goal is to make x squared have a unit coefficient. I mean, we want the coefficient of x squared within the bracket to be unity, or to be a unit, a 1, okay? So what we just need to do is to bring out the coefficient, which is 4, and then 4x squared divided by 4 will simply give us x squared. And then, of course, 5x divided by 4 will give us 5x over 4, okay? So now, the next thing is to find, as usual, we find the coefficient of x. Is 5 over 4, and then divide it by 2. That is 5 over 4 divided by 2. That should give us 5 over 8. Okay, once we divide that by 4, okay, we have 5 over 4 divided by 2. That will give us 5 over 4 times 1 over 2, which will give 5 over 8. Then we have to find the square of it. We have to find the square of it. Find the square of it. Okay, so once we find the square of it, and then we now take this 5 over 8 squared and introduce it into the bracket by adding and subtracting the same value. So let's go back to what we have there. So we have y equal to 4 open bracket x squared plus 5 over 4x, then plus 5 over 8 squared minus 5 over 8 squared. Okay, so let me go back to my square bracket, then minus 6. So what that means is that I am going to now come over here and say y equal to 4. So I open this bracket as before. I group this together and open the bracket. So that will give me 4x squared plus 5 over 4x plus 5 over 4 squared. Close the bracket. Close the bracket, then minus 4 times 5 over 8 squared minus 6. So what we are going to have now is y equal to, so we factorize this, x plus 5 over 4 squared minus 4 times, this is 25 all over 64 minus 6. Okay, so we are going to have okay, so we have 4, we go with this. This is 1 here, 16. So we have y equal to 4. I think I should switch over here. So I have y equal to, so the final result, we are getting close to the final result. So we have 4 brackets x plus 5 over 4 squared, okay, then this will be minus 25 over 16, then minus 6. So from here we have y equal to 4 open bracket x plus 5 over 4 squared minus, so I'm going to take the LCM of this, So here I'm going to have 25 minus, let's see what that gives us. 16 times 6. That's 96. 96. So that's 96. So please don't forget that we are grouping this together. Okay? Grouping that together. So you have y equal to 4 bracket x plus 5 over 4 squared minus. Okay, so this and this we 96 minus 25. 171. That's minus 71 over 16. Okay? Minus 71 over 16. So that will be, so the value of, so at the end of the day, what we're going to have now will be, I think there is an error here. Let me redo that again. I think there is an error. There's an error, please. Let me cross-check that. There's an error. Yeah, so this is supposed to be minus, that will be minus 96 plus 25. That will be 1, 11, 121, 121. 121 over 16. Please pardon me for that. It was a little bit of a glitch there. Well, thank God we got it. So now the axis of symmetry will be, the axis of symmetry will be x plus, when you equate all of this to be equal to 0, and then when you divide both sides by 4, we have, divide both sides by 4, we are going to have, we will have x plus 5 over 4 squared equal to 0, and then we'll take the square root of both sides. So we have x plus 5 over 4 equal to 0. So x will be minus 5 over 4. Okay, and then the other value, that's the minimum value. We know this will be minimum because the coefficient of x squared at the start is greater than 0. So the minimum value will be minus 121 over 16. And therefore the vertex of the curve, the vertex of the curve will be at minus 5 over 4 and minus 121 over 16. So that is what we have there. Thank you guys for stopping by my YouTube channel. I hope to see you in the next video. Please like my video. If you have not subscribed, please do so and give me a thumbs up. See you in the next class. Bye bye.